Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I'm going to be playing Dead or Alive 6 on an Xbox One X, also with an external SSD attached, so it's going to load a little bit quicker than it would off the internal drive. But I'm excited to talk about this one today. I'm excited to show it off. I like it quite a bit. I'll start by saying that, yeah, I'm eating a little bit of crow because the plan was to just ignore this game. Because I'd said, oh, I don't know if it's going to be better than Dead or Alive 5 last round. That game had more characters in it. You know, this doesn't have the Virtua Fighter characters in it, and there's no Mai, at least not right now, from King of Fighters. So how's it going to compete with Dead or Alive 5 last round? It seems like it's going to be a lesser package, but no, yeah, this is really good in a lot of ways that make it so that I'm okay with not having the Virtua Fighter characters back this time. I can always go back and play the old game if I want to play with them again, and I probably will just because it's such a great game, but this is new and it is hot, and I like it. So, yeah, real quick, I'll point out here at the character select screen, these great posters, you used to be able to put in a Dead or Alive game, and you would wait with an empty space before the characters would load in here, right? Before you could just see the model. But now they got these great posters that are there, so while you're waiting to see what your character looks like, that comes up, and then boom, there the model loads in. So I really like that. It's a little small, you know, minor thing, but it makes it seem like a more polished package. It makes the whole thing just seem like a better game. I don't know, like a better package. But I main Christy, so I'm gonna start my arcade run with her. And I've got quite a few costumes that I've worked on unlocking, I guess, or have gotten unlocked. You can play around the hairstyles and the glasses and stuff like that. But unfortunately in this game, you have to work a lot harder for that stuff than you did in Dead or Alive 5 last round. I'll kind of go out and show you maybe after my arcade run here how that works. But in short, what I like about this is that it's loud, it's flashy. It feels like the kind of game that, you know, I would obsess over, right? And I kind of have been obsessing over this a little bit. I've been playing it a lot. But it reminds me of like when Soul Calibur 2 was out in arcades. I used to get out from work or even go like on my lunch break to the arcade to get in some rounds of Soul Calibur 2 because I was just that into it. I was just super, you know, loving the game, like the way it sounded, like the way it looked, like the way it played. And that's how I feel about this. This is that kind of game where when I get a free moment, I would love to just get in a quick arcade run. You know, it only takes you about like 15, 20 minutes at that. And you can kind of get a quick fix and then come back to it later if you want to play for longer. But it's good. It looks really good. Looking at these character models too, they animate so smoothly. There's so much great animation going on here. And the level of detail has increased considerably from the last game. If you notice Christy's outfit here, it's leather, but they're kind of fighting in this dusty environment, and her outfit has picked some of that up as it's gone on here. Really like that. The little details like that are great. And some of these stages like this one, I'm so glad I'm fighting here now, because this is one of my favorite stages in the game. The background music's great, so I'm going to shut up in a minute. But look at the burning barrels in the background and all the cool little particle effects. And the shadows being cast and stuff too. I love the way that the characters catch the opponent and throw them back at you. Oh shit, my combo broke. There we go. Awesome, huh? Very flashy, very cool, I love it. And I love these juggles and slamming right through the backgrounds and stuff, that looks really good. There's just a lot going on here, I really like it.
Feeling disheartened? I'll make you cry some more.
Just a badass looking game all around. I like the look, I like the feel. It's very responsive, it's very just
It's the time already?
tight with the controls.
Better get going.
I'll play with you.
It's the kind of game where just playing it, I just kind of marveling at the character models and stuff, which is awesome because I guess I really was impressed with the way Dead or Alive 5 Last Round looked, but I didn't think it was like the full potential of these machines because it was a game that, you know, was basically a better version of a game from the previous generation, right? It was the same game, but just they had added some new, I think they'd called it skin tech for the character models and stuff, which did go a long way in my opinion, but it wasn't the same as like designing a game from the ground up for the hardware. And now that's what this is, so we get to kind of see what these machines can do. And I think with the 4K mode that they've got for Xbox One X, while it's not playable now because the frame rate's super choppy, I think on the next Xbox, you will be able to use 4K at 60 frames per second. At least I expect as much. And I think it's just going to be that similar kind of upgrade to what you saw with Dead or Alive 5 Last Round. I hate this character, Brad Wong. He's like one of my least favorite people to fight. Gotta love that close-up, right, of Christy getting her teeth knocked out. That's new. They haven't had that in previous games. I think it's really cool.
Are you ready for this?
Not much Brad can do now. He's done.
Feeling disheartened?
Yeah, you'll notice
I'll
Christy's
make you
bra got
cry.
destroyed, which is just completely absurd. But when Brad did that awesome combo that ended with her getting her face punched, the bra broke because that's just kind of part of what they do. The clothing is destructible in this game for some of the outfits, not for all of them. But yeah, no matter where they're getting hit, their clothes are getting kind of destroyed in those really impressive combos. Which kind of reminds me, like, I guess I know that this series isn't for everybody because it's the booby games, right? It's like the booby fighting games with the tits and ass and, you know, the over-the-top sex appeal stuff going on. And you know, that's okay if that's not for you. I think that these games do that very well. I've always kind of been a fan of that about these games, I guess, because I feel that it sets these games apart from your Tekken and your Virtua Fighter and stuff, right? Those games certainly do have like the odd sexy outfit here and there, but they've never really embraced it on the level that like Dead or Alive has, where they just fully go after it, right? Like just completely unashamed. And I kind of like that about DOA. I like that they're doing their thing and they don't care, and they like their character models enough to say, yeah, let's have some sexy dress-up time with them.
I'll make you.
And I think it's okay to have that. I think it's okay to like it. I don't think every game has to appeal to every person. And I don't think that there's a problem with this game being exactly that. I know that Tecmo talked about with Dead or Alive 6, they wanted the game to be taken a little bit more seriously in the competitive fighting scene. And so they had said, oh yeah, we're going to tone down the sexy outfits a little bit for this game. But honestly, I think it's pretty much as sexy as it's always been. I don't really see that. I don't really see how they've toned it down. And I don't think they need to. I think like if you want to have a competitive scene based around this game, it has to exist within, you know, what the game already is. You can't kind of try to change what it is after the fact. Like, this is a series that's been all about the sexiness since day one. It's been a heavy part of the marketing campaign from the first game onward. And they make a ton of money. With Last Round, they sold 6 or 7 season passes of like sexy outfits and stuff. And I know it did well for them because they kept having them come out. People were buying them. I didn't buy the passes. I ended up buying the odd costume here and there for some of my favorite characters. But I mean, like, I think that's what a lot of DOA fans like about DOA, in addition to, like, just how crisp the fighting is, how good the graphics are, because this used to be, you know, one of those games that was set the standard for what to expect from your hardware. I remember when Dead or Alive 2 came out on the Dreamcast, it was awesome looking. And then when it came to PlayStation 2 in the form of DOA Hardcore, that looked great. And then Dead or Alive 3 on the Xbox, that was like, wow, this looks so good, right? These fighting games, they used to just be the kind of, I guess, you know, they used to set the bar for graphics and stuff. And that went away for some years. But I think it's kind of back now. I think this new game really looks great. I think if you're going to show off like what your Xbox One X can do, this is a good candidate for that. I think it looks awesome. But anyway, yeah, I think the costumes and stuff are all right. I don't think that they need to change that about this series. I think the better way to go about it is to make a new fighting game series that isn't saddled with the baggage of the history that Dead or Alive has. I mean, this is the series that, if you go look at the first game, the breasts used to bounce at such an absurd, in such an absurd way in that first game. And they haven't stopped since, right? They've gotten more realistic looking since, but I mean, they used to bounce from like the character's chin down to their belly button. It was, you know, crazy. It didn't look sexy. It was just silly looking. And that's just kind of been what this series is that kind of like goofy, over-the-top sexiness. And as the games have looked better and better over the years, they've been more, I think, legitimately sexy and less goofy, but it's always just been super cheeky. And I think to try and change that this far into the game's you know, run, let it be what it is. Make a new fighting game. Tecmo's super talented. Clearly, you know, like, there's nothing stopping them from launching a new fighting series that could appeal, I think, on a more serious level to that competitive scene, the way that they would like Dead or Alive to. I think, you know, Dead or Alive has its audience, and it makes its money the way that it does, and I don't know how you get out from under that at this point. I think the time for that came and went. But anyway, kind of rambling. I don't want to linger on that for too long. I really like DOA. I think it's a series I wish more people would give a shot, because I think it plays great and it looks great. Anyway, how far am I into this arcade run? I think this might be my last fight here for this run. I want to change characters, and I also want to go over to the unlock area, kind of show you how the costume progression works.
Nicely, didn't you, my lady?
I can't see what stage I'm on because the little stream thing is up in the corner. It's covering it. Oh well, I think this might be my last fight. Anyway. Oh no, I used my bar and it all got wasted. Selena interrupted the combo, countered me like immediately. There we go. Uh-oh, she's got me now. She didn't finish it out with the big hit.
You can do better than that, milady.
Look at all the people in the crowd, though.
You have to make
Looks
it
really good.
fun for me.
I do see some repeat character models out there, but I mean, it's a crowd. It's hard to do that without some repeats. But it looks really good. I like all the confetti floating around in the background. And it looks like I unlocked some costume parts for characters I don't really play as, but that's okay. When this launched, they've fixed it now. It's important to call that out. This has been fixed. But you would do a run of arcade or play online or whatever you were doing, and you would earn random pieces of costumes for characters at like just anybody at random, not necessarily the person you like playing as. So that was kind of tough for a lot of people to swallow. It was also really stingy with the rate of the parts that you would get too. You get these costumes like, actually I think Li Fang's a good example here, because I don't have everything unlocked for her yet, but you get like a basic color variant of her default costume is 100 parts. You have to earn those parts by just playing, and if I play as Li Fang, I'll get parts for a random costume for her. It used to be you just get a random part for anybody's costume, and so I'd be playing Li Fang all day and maybe unlocking stuff for Tina or Kasumi or somebody and be like, damn it, I just want to unlock Li Fang stuff. But now they've got it tied to the character, thankfully. But she's got that basic costume that's still 100 parts. You could probably do that in an arcade run on normal difficulty, probably. But then you have to buy it with this currency afterward too. So these are different costumes, so they're $3 grand. I think if I was gonna buy that one, it would probably be like $1 grand. But these are $3 grand for this currency you see in the upper left there. I've got 93.88, so I could buy one of these if I wanted to right now, but I'm saving for somebody else. But then you've got these other costumes where, like this one, there's 1,000 parts. So I've got to work on that. This one's 20,000 parts. 20,000 parts for this. Oh no, I'm reading this wrong. I'm an idiot. Dumbass, this isn't 20,000 parts, this is the currency. Okay, yeah, so that's better. I was freaking out for a minute. I was like, I didn't realize it was so much, but okay, this is 1,000 parts. I haven't opened it yet. This I've gotten all the parts for, and now I can buy it. So it's like you gotta do 2 steps basically to unlock these outfits. And I just think that's kind of lame and silly. Like, you know, you used to be able to play Dead or Alive 5 Last Round and do an arcade run or two and have a costume. Like, that's it. You didn't have to buy it with any currencies or unlock parts. You would just get it by playing the game. And that was cool. So, you know, I don't really care for this new system as much, but, you know, it's okay. As long as they keep populating it with fun costumes and stuff as the game exists, you know, I'll have fun with this. I think it's fun unlocking all these for all the characters. They have some really neat costumes in here. And again, the ones that I was lingering on earlier that still, you know, cost like 1,000 parts and then 20 grand in the currency, these are like the perfect example of how they haven't toned down the sexiness at all. Right? They're like, oh yeah, we've toned it down so we can be taken more seriously in the fighting game community. No, you haven't. Sorry. You can't have these in there and say that you've toned it down. But I mean, this is a costume that Li Fang has had since, at least in black here. If I remember right, she's been wearing this since DOA 2. I don't think she had this costume in the first DOA, but this has been in with her since DOA 2. So it's like, that's what I'm saying when I say just let this series be what it is, and it's okay. You know, if you want to have something without the kind of, you know, over the top sexiness, have a new fighting game series come out. So, and yeah, you can see here I do have the season pass here, the first season pass. These wedding outfits are a part of that. And then the deluxe version of the game comes with its own costumes. The boobs there are just ridiculous with the jiggling. Yeah, I mean, if you want to be taken seriously, maybe cut that out and cut the costumes out, you know? Or just say, screw it, we're DOA, we are what we are, you know? Like, this is gonna be what it is. That's why I say, like, there's so much baggage with this series in terms of that stuff. I just feel like you can't really undo it. You can't ignore that it's there and try to pretend that it can be something else. I just, you know, I feel like that ship has sailed. So anyway, I'll come off that. You've seen the unlocks there, and I actually forgot to show one other thing here too. I'll back up here. There's a bunch of music in this, and you can assign music to characters if you want. I think eventually, I don't know if it's going to be DLC or if I just haven't unlocked it by playing enough stuff or what, but I think every song from every DOA game is going to be here, accessible for assigning to a character and stuff. So, yeah, I like that. That was something that they had in Dead or Alive 5 Last Round. Although, I can't remember if I had to unlock the music or if it was all just there in that game, but I liked it because there's some great music from over the years with the DOA series, and being able to assign that and hear it at different places, different stages, or with different characters was really cool. So I'm glad to see that that's come back in this game. That's about the interesting stuff there. There's story mode. Story mode is just dumb. I'm sorry, but it is. I've never been impressed with story mode in the other DOA games, and this one's no exception. It's just hammy as all hell, really. But, I mean, if you want to be kind of mildly entertained while you have intermittent fights and stuff, it's there for you. I'm not going to show it off here because they've blocked it from streaming, and I'm not hooked up to my PC or anything right now. I'm actually just streaming this right off the Xbox at the moment. You're probably watching this on YouTube after the fact, but yeah, so I won't do story. Quest is kind of fun. Think of it as like a souped up training mode, basically. They have challenges for you. Like if I wanted to play this one as Jan Li, you gotta win the fight, obviously. Inflict 40 damage with a single combo, execute 3 offensive holds, right? And you might not know what is an offensive hold. Well, you can look it up while you're doing this mission, or they'll take you directly to the tutorial for it if you screw it up. So, yeah, that's cool. I like that this is there if you want to really get into the deep in the weeds with the fighting of DOA and kind of learn the system. This is perfect for that. So you also do, I think you unlock costumes pretty quickly in that mode as well, faster than I think you do in arcade mode, but I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. So you can see I play a lot of Christy. Okay, I am going to play Nico here, who is the one new character in this game. And yeah, I'm a Nico fan. I like Nico. Yeah, we'll go no glasses, in the wedding outfit for funsies. And we'll do one more arcade run here with Nico, and then I'll probably shut it down. But I just wanted to kind of share the game a little bit, let you see what it's about, how it looks compared to previous games. And if you're thinking about this, yeah, I would probably give it the thumbs up, you know? Like, they've made the changes that they needed to make regarding the costume unlocking stuff that had annoyed some people in the first week or so of launch. So that's been addressed, and now what's left is just having fun with the fighting and enjoying all of this ridiculous spectacle, you know? And it's really good, man. Look at how the light plays in this stage. Look at how, you know, all of the little embers flying around in the background and stuff. This really looks great. And Nico's kind of got that electricity thing mounted on her hands. I don't really know how it works exactly. I just know that it's what she needs to make her competitive with the other fighters in the roster here. But yeah, what a great looking game. The animation and stuff.
Nothing is impossible.
I love how flashy it is, the slowdown at certain points in your combos and stuff, like those really flashy combos. The way that the screen darkens a bit, almost like reminiscent of old Mortal Kombat fatalities and stuff. The way it just kind of brings the focus onto the two characters. I like that. Oof. Into the electrified ropes. Many times. Oh man. Getting my butt kicked. Time for a comeback. But yeah, look at that. That's just beautiful, man. That looks so good. And yeah, I'm a bit of a sucker for a good-looking fighting game. Like, the graphics are part of the appeal for me some of the time, right? It's like you play Guilty Gear, and you know you're going to get a gorgeous 2D animated game. You play Dead or Alive, you know you're going to get like just a cutting-edge 3D, you know, 3D experience.
Get ready, fight!
I love those counters, those are so great. See if I can get her locked into this again. Oh, did that too early. Oh, I'm gonna lose, I think. Nope, just barely pulled it off.
With science, nothing is impossible. Let the red rose of blood bloom forth. All right then.
Marie Rose, my least favorite
Let us
character in the
begin
series here.
experiment.
She is a little too childlike looking for my taste. I don't think a character that looks like her belongs in a game with all the sexiness and stuff. I know that she is. I guess I'm in the minority of DOA fans. She has a pretty big following out there of people that really like the character. I've never been a fan. I would be okay with her getting cut from DOA 7. She's also beyond dumb in this story mode too. The argument that I see get made is that she's a young adult and not a child, but it's like, if you watch the story mode in this game, they have her behave like a 12-year-old. So, I mean, like a ridiculous 12-year-old. That's kind of an insult to 12-year-olds. I don't mean it that way. I just mean very, like, naive, very, you know, just inexperienced, just dumb. Just dumb. Everything is just like, yeah, just dumb. I don't know how else to say it. And again, I'm sorry if you're watching this and you're 12 years old. I'm not calling you dumb. Alright, I did a poor job of explaining what I think of Marie Rose, I guess. Battle of the brides here.
Get ready. Fight!
She's kicking my ass. Oh, now my dress is all wet. Oh, telegraphed that again, or just came up too short, rather.
Get ready.
Way too short.
Will hurt.
Nice duck.
Overdrive.
There we go, I finally landed that running elbow.
With science, nothing is impossible.
She's a big fan of science, apparently.
Above, who seeks to stand against me. How interesting.
All right then. Let us begin the experiment.
Fight!
And you get these great stage interactions too in this series. I've always loved those. That one's not even super impressive. It's just kind of nice as a way to extend a combo sometimes. But you get these other stages where you just bust through a wall and end up in a whole different area. I've always really liked that about this series.
Full burst.
You're too slow.
Love that. Oof.
With science,
Skip that. I've seen that enough times. Just want to wrap up the last few fights here. See what kind of currency I've earned. Maybe go unlock
let me
a
give
costume,
you a
and then we'll
wake-up
call
call.
it.
All right then. Let us begin the experiment.
This stage, hopefully I can knock her into one of the stage hazards. This is a good one for that. Oh, she got me. So crazy. I love that stuff. I gotta get her to get knocked off the edge here too if I can. There we go. Whoa! And yes, it does look a lot like Jurassic Park on this stage, I know. Oh crap, I whiffed. Got her. Awesome.
This is what people call an undeniable difference.
Yo, think you can
Trying
keep
to
up
not
with me?
talk as much just so you can get little, you know, just get a feel for the soundtrack. I think it's really good in this game. I like it. My history with the series is there's been some really great tracks and then some that I just didn't really do anything for me or straight up didn't like. But in this game, it's either stuff that I like or stuff I really like. So that's cool. I love when a fighting game has a great soundtrack.
This will hurt.
Oh, he broke out of that. Got me.
With science, nothing is impossible.
And check out the sweat on the character model there. It looks really good. And you can kind of, after your fight is over, you can zoom in if you want to and like kind of pan around. Just trying to catch the sweat in the light. Just for funsies, just kind of show off what they've, you know, the extent of the detail they like to put into these models. You've probably noticed the sweat already. I don't know if I fought Jan Lee earlier or not, I can't remember, but he's always usually pretty sweaty.
This will hurt.
Oof. Bayman, another series veteran here. Dude's been in this DOA series since the first one.
This will hurt. With science, nothing is impossible.
Listen for the guitar. I love it. So, okay, that's another arcade rundown. I've got 10 grand in currency now. Cool, and I've got some more costume parts for Nico. Looks like I got 537 out of a costume that needs 750. So that's pretty good. Oh, and a new music track. I guess that answers some of my question. So yeah, I'll just keep playing this. I'll keep unlocking stuff. I could see this game having legs for a good while. If they support this with costumes and season passes and stuff the same way that they did Dead or Alive 5 last round, this is gonna have content for a few years at least. So, because Dead or Alive 5 last round, they really stuck by that game, and I think that game had maybe 4 years of costumes. Because I'm just trying to think back about all like the Halloween outfits and stuff that they did every year. And I know that there's at least 3 of those. There might have been 4 sets of those. So that's a good chunk of time to be supporting a game with just costumes and stuff afterward. I know that we're getting 2 characters later this year in May. Mai from King of Fighters is going to be one of them, and the other one is a mystery at this point. They haven't announced who that's going to be. So yeah, you know, we've got more characters on the way and surely more costumes, so I'm excited to you know, see what happens down the road for this game. I will say too about the season pass. When this game came out, I saw countless pieces about like how expensive the season pass is for the game. $93! Oh my god, Dead or Alive as a game. Season pass is $93. Whoa, you know. That's not new. Okay? Dead or Alive 5 Last Round had several of those passes, you know, 5 or 6 at least. And they were all like that. And those are if you want every costume for every single character. And, you know, what is the roster here? We've got, was this 6 across? No, 7 across? So, okay, after the 2 new characters, let's say you got like roughly 30 people in the game. You're going to have a season pass that's going to include like probably 2 to 3 costumes for all of those characters. If you break that down versus just buying a costume one at a time for like anywhere from $2 to $4 like they were in Dead or Alive 5 Last Round, it's actually a lot cheaper buying the season pass. So I think that those exist for those people, the people who absolutely have to have every costume because they're crazy fans. You know, yeah, then by all means buy the season passes and you'll save money that way. Just because there is so much in the way of that content for these games, and if the costumes literally run $2 to $4 depending on, you know, if there's licensing involved, right? Because sometimes Tecmo does crossover stuff. Like there's some anime thing I don't watch called Attack on Titan, and I guess they gave an Attack on Titan outfit to every character in Dead or Alive 5 Last Round, so those were a little bit more expensive than some of the other costumes, and I get that. That's because, you know, somebody over at Attack on Titan had to get paid, right? So, makes sense. Personally, you know, I just bought stuff here and there in the last game. I think I probably... I don't know how many costumes I bought, but I bought a fair number, but it was still like not enough to warrant buying the season pass. This season pass I have just because I kind of got a deal on it, so I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. But I don't think I'll continue buying the season passes because honestly, I don't care about costumes for characters I don't play. Like this guy, I will likely never play this guy. I don't like Hayate either. I will likely never play him. I don't like Zack, I don't like Bayman, I probably won't play those guys. I don't give a shit about costumes for Bass. I definitely don't care about costumes for Brad Wong because I don't like Brad Wong. So I guess that mostly leaves me a lot of the women in the game. So yeah, you know, if you're buying costumes for like half the characters, don't buy the pass. Just buy them, you know, the odd costume here and there. Anyway, that's my bit about the season passes. Let's look at what I've unlocked here, see if I can afford one of the Christie outfits. I've got 10 grand now. I don't remember if any of these were 10 grand. Just the nightgown ones, I guess, and I don't want to spend my money on that. I am saving up for one of the crazy 50 Shades of Grey costumes here. So I'm a third of the way to this one, or halfway to this one. So I'll come back. But yeah, everybody, thank you for hanging out with me and listening to me prattle on about DOA and show this off. Check it out if you're interested. If you want a really good-looking, gorgeous fighting game that is smooth and purrs like a kitten on the Xbox One X, then yeah, by all means, and has a built-in 4K mode for the next generation of consoles. Yeah, this is it. All right, so thanks again. We'll catch you next time.